current breach of constitutional order through military coup is regaining currency in the West African sub-region. This trend is gathering momentum amidst the COVID crisis, climate change, conflicts, and dwindling economic fortunes in the region. At our seminar with the theme, Application of the Power of the Parliament in light of the restructuring of the ECOWAS Commission in Lomé, the capital city of Togo, members of the ECOWAS Parliament want countries to domesticate parliamentary decisions to promote regional growth and security.
But in the case of the Parliament, the ECOWAS Parliament, resolutions have not been in any way presented before the National Assembly in any form. If you pass resolutions and you just communicate to member state and there's no enforcing mechanism in place, I think there's something that is missing.
The power that we have with us, have we used those powers judiciously?
Direct elections are relevant, they're important. Managing our own budget is important, it's relevant. But let us use the powers we have for now, then it will be easier for us to ask for more.
The aim is for Parliament to remain sensitive to the challenges confronting regional integration, especially those brought upon West Africa by the global economic crisis and internal conflicts.
Talking about peace and security, talking about economic growth, talking about the rest of the things that improve the life of the ordinary people. So I think our coordination will bring much more desired result to the sub-region.
They see the upcoming democratic transition in some member states as opportunity to promote accountability in governance.
We hold true that every accession to power must be made through free, fair, and transparent elections. In so doing, we are hopeful that all mechanisms will be worked out to allow the people to freely express their will through their votes and their voices be heard through a free press.
The seminar is expected to move Parliament to seek greater competence to play its full role in the discharge of political and diplomatic duties. Omenjiye Fine Face, NTA News.
A global update saying Bolsonaro and Lula head to runoff after tied Brazil election in South African President Cyril Ramaphosa accepts King Charles III invitation to the United Kingdom on the high-level talks. Let's now join Charles Alpha for more.
Brazil's top two presidential candidates will face each other in a runoff vote after neither got enough support to win outright in an election to decide if the country returns a leftist to the helm of the world's fourth largest democracy or keeps the far-right incumbent in office. With 99.9% of votes tallied, former President Luiz Lula da Silva had 48.4% support and President Jair Bolsonaro had 43.2%. 9 other candidates were also competing, but their support spells to Bolsonaro and da Silva, who is commonly known as Lula. Meanwhile, death toll from Hurricane Ian has climbed past 80 as embattled residents in Florida and Carolina face a recovery expected to cost tens of billions of dollars, just as President Joe Biden and his wife Jill traveled to Puerto Rico to survey damage from Hurricane Fiona as cleanup begins. And in Africa, King Charles III will welcome South African President Cyril Ramaphosa to the UK for 3 days of high-level talks next month. This is to celebrate the first state visit of his reign with the leader of a Commonwealth member with close ties to the royal family. Ramaphosa has accepted King Charles III's invitation for a state visit from November 22 to 24, Buckingham Palace said on Monday. And still in Africa, former junta leader Harrison Dogo Damiba has offered his resignation after Burkina Faso's junta chief and new self-proclaimed leader Ibrahim Traoré met with cabinet officials where they agreed that there was a need to change the pace and go fast on security, defense, health, social action and infrastructure. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
On bilateral ties, the Nigerian government and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have agreed to strengthen bilateral relations in trade, education and culture for mutual benefits. Aisha Bashir reports that this was part of the decisions reached at a 3-day meeting of Nigeria-Saudi Joint Commission, which opened in Abuja.
Opening meeting is aimed at reinvigorating the bilateral relations of both countries through discussions on a wide range of critical areas of development like education, defense, commerce, telecommunications, among others.
I sincerely hope that the outcome of this joint commission would uplift and further strengthen all aspects of our long-standing bilateral cooperation for our mutual benefits.
What we will be doing in the next 2 days will further solidify our relationship, will further strengthen our ties with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and will further enhance our engagement in several sectors.
Both countries were keen on deepening the already strong bonds, diversifying and increasing trade, multilateral ties, and addressing global security challenges.
Laying specific foundations for enhancing economic, commercial, investment, scientific, and cultural cooperation between the two countries.
لهذا يجب التأكيد على
Accordingly, emphasis must be given
تفعيل أعمال كل من الاتفاقية واللجنة المشتركة
to activate the work of both the agreement and the joint committee
من خلال وضع الآليات الفعالة وبرامج
through the development of effective mechanisms and programs.
At the end of the 3-day discussions, it is believed that the resolutions will put in place a roadmap for future cooperation between both countries to harness potentials that will enhance opportunities of partnership. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
On economic matters now, leveraging on deep seabed resources for economic development will be the focus of an international conference to be hosted in Abuja. Focal agencies like the National Boundary Commission and NASA will be projecting Nigeria's perspective at the conference. Calvin Ironware reports.
Optimizing the blue economic potential of African countries as active members of the International Seabed Authority, where Nigeria has a permanent representative, is what representatives from 8 African countries and international marine science and environmentalists will be discussing between October 5th and 7th, 2022 in Abuja. At a press briefing to announce modalities for the conference, Secretary General of the International Seabed Authority, Michael Lodge, said it's an opportunity to explore another rich resource base for the continent.
It is aimed at supporting African countries to better understand what resources they have in the deep ocean, whether it's in their own jurisdiction on the continental shelf or even beyond that in the international area.
The ISA and in partnership with the Norwegian government are giving us this opportunity to create awareness and to let Nigerians understand what the international seabed is all about.
Africa currently has 54 countries as members of the global intergovernmental body. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewenwaye, NTA News.
We age every day per second, and the misery of older persons should interest society, most especially young people. This was the central message that resonated at the gathering put together by the Global Knights Foundation in Abuja to unveil a program of intervention for older people whose plight are often relegated to the background. Of particular interest to the foundation is the struggles that older persons who are sick have no one to care for them by reinforcing the African culture of people caring for their aged parents.
You find old men and women, our young people these days, you get on the public bus, you don't see them getting up for older persons. You come out, you see, it's painful to see what older persons are going through. I also retire from service, and I don't want to go down that way. So even if for nobody else, for myself. So I mean, that's one way to assure you that it's going to be sustainable.
Advocating that it is time for us to have modern homes for the elderly, well planned,
with the right facilities, as in other climes, with the right medical facilities too. These elderly people want to discuss with themselves. We are their children, yes, and we remain their children. You can never have a conversation at their level.
Event was to mark this year's International Day of Older Persons, being used to explore how to support older persons to develop resilience in the face of a changing world. In an effort to mitigate the impact of flood, the federal government has donated relief materials to victims of flood in Tonga, our local government area of Nasarawa State. Aliyu Tijani has more.
Communities in Tonga, deserted as flood washed away farmlands, destroy houses and other property. Federal government steps in to ameliorate their plight with relief materials. Governor Sule hands over the federal government donation for onward distribution to victims of the disaster. He warns against diversion of the materials as he urged judicious distribution. The state government also provides relief materials, with Governor Sule making a personal donation of 4 million to support the flood victims. Governor Sule, accompanied by his predecessor, Senator Umaru Tanko Almakura, where he advocates for more sensitization and the need for people not to build on waterways. Meanwhile, farmers in Azara community cried for help as flood washed away more than 250 hectares of rice and maize farms in the area. They said the floods have wreaked havoc on the farms who were beneficiaries of Anko Borrower program. Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
Away from that, not less than 13,451,466 pills of tramadol, 250 milligram worth 8,860,000,000 naira in street value have been recovered by operatives of the National Drug Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. In a statement by the agency, the pharmaceutical substance was recovered from one of the mansions of a suspected drug baron, Ugochukwu Nsofo Chukwu Kadibia, at Victoria Garden City Residential Estate, Lekki area of Lagos State. His arrest is coming barely 2 months after NDLEA uncovered a methamphetamine clandestine laboratory in the residence of another drug kingpin in the estate. Meanwhile, some equipment and vehicles found within the residence have been moved to the agency's facility. You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a break. More news when we come back. Just stay with us.
Forget life season. Forget the winners and the losers. Forget every moment that stole the show, because this is a brand new season on Go TV, and it's going to be bigger and better than any season before it, with over 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seats in the house this new football season. Get a decoder, Go Tenor plus 1 month Go TV Max for 6,900 naira only. Bigger season, greater football. Go TV, love it.
Yes.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Learn more.
You're welcome back. In line with its non-kinetic operations, the Nigerian Army has constructed and donated a motorized borehole to Race community of Akwanga local government area of Nasarawa State to increase access to potable water supply. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
It's a dream come true for the people of Race in Akwanga West Development Area of Nasarawa State. A solar-powered industrial water borehole equipped with 20 kVA generator provided by the Nigerian Army is to increase access to water supply and improve sanitation.
We've been longing to have this, and thank God today we have this drinking water, potable drinking water for our community.
Kudos to them. We appreciate them and greater heights for them. Yes, we are enjoying what they are doing.
The gesture is meant to foster civil-military relations in the community that lacks access to some social amenities.
This community, through the leadership of Abuja Development Area, sought for assistance from the Nigerian Army for the provisions of potable water.
This raise for cordial relationship necessitated with immediate response to the request by the committee to realize the dreams of the conception and construction of these water projects as part of corporate social responsibility in communities where we conduct military operations like natural things.
The project is aimed at boosting confidence of host community in relation to army operations in the areas. From Abuja in Nasarawa State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The fourth National Assembly Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, says the capacity and competence of political leaders to a large extent guarantees the progress, prosperity, peace and security of the nation. He stated this at the opening of a legislative mentorship program he initiated. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Gathered here are young Nigerians from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. They are beneficiaries of the legislative mentorship program tailored to inculcate in them the fundamentals of nation building through development of ideologies and policy strategy as the next generation of leaders.
This fellowship will help you acquire skills, build capacity and competence to participate effectively in Nigeria's politics and government and contribute to our growth, progress and prosperity. Ability and competence are not enough to lift a nation and elevate a people. You need vision and you need character.
Guests at the events give their perspectives.
Experience in Nigerians known and relating to the fundamentals of legislative practice and procedure. If not been in government process, assimilated seal for public service, especially in the legislature. Structural, financial, and political barriers remain. I hope the Honorable Speaker's initiative will go some way to help them remove these barriers. And that your energy and activism at this critical point in this country's history will make a difference.
The legislative mentorship program is the first in the series.
I hope to be better equipped by the end of this fellowship program, seeing that the aim of this fellowship program is to train and equip the next generation of public sector leaders.
I'm willing to learn the legislative metrics to understand policy making and the processes of policy making.
Youth leadership and the future of democracy, harnessing the power of young people in Nigeria, is the theme. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Constitution is the framework within which every democratic governance thrives. However, findings from a survey in Nigeria shows that not many citizens know much about the provisions of the Constitution of the country. In this report, correspondent Osin Ayebe takes a look at this trend.
Arguments like these take place every day about politics, governance, and the state of the nation among Nigerians. While some argue intelligently, others are empty in their arguments, most times not understanding even the basic provisions of the Constitution, which is the guide to democratic governance.
The Constitution, it is the law guiding the country. That is what the Constitution. There are very many provisions of the Constitution. There is right to human, that is right to live. Every Nigerian has the right to be respected, and the freedom of association and freedom of press, expression as we are expressing ourselves. These are the rights of citizens, and this is what the Constitution is all about.
We'll just be playing with you. I don't know much about their constitutions regarding the aspects where you're coming from. The Constitution states that you can only contest for an election, or you can only hold the political position twice. That's for 2 tenure. Yes. So you can't go for the third time. That's still under the Constitution too.
We have a lot of things that is guide as a provision for a constitution. So the law, justice, and in fact, we have everything generally as a provision for the constitution.
Legal practitioners said many Nigerians do not know how to seek redress whenever their rights are trampled upon, simply because they do not understand the provisions of the Constitution.
By the people in the law profession, the everyday Nigerians do not know their rights, neither do they even know where it exists. Whereas these rights exist in the Constitution, but many of them are not aware because they have failed to get themselves abreast with the Constitution like they would do with their religious books like the Bible and the Quran and even newspapers.
You cannot complain of it being trampled upon. So while many people, their rights are being infringed upon by individuals or by agents of the government, and they don't complain about it because they don't even know in the first place that they have such rights. There is no democracy without a constitution that is a pillar of equity and justice. So as far as the democracy we are talking about is concerned, we trace its root to the Constitution. Then by the time we get to know our rights, that is when we can give the right definition to democracy, because without the Constitution that ensures and protects the rights of every individual, then our democracy is just a farce.
They are of the view that citizens are expected to study the provisions of the Constitution the way they study the Holy Quran and the Bible, since those provisions affect their day-to-day affairs. In Abuja, Austin Anibe, NTA News.
In another development, Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu has lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's non-interference with electoral and judicial processes in the country, adding that such a posture has strengthened the political transformation of Nigeria's rising democracy. The governor stated this in Birnin Kebbi while interacting with newsmen as part of activities marking Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary in the state. Usman Abdullahi Shehu tells us more.
Within the 70 years, Bagudu noted that there was never a known case of the president meddling on issues to do with judiciary or the nation's election umpire, INEC, a development that must be hailed by all lovers of rule of law, considered the engine room of any democracy. Atiku was particular on the equal treatment of all parts of the country, irrespective of differences.
We have to appreciate what President Buhari has been doing, consistent with the resources available to him, and he has done well. A lot of things were not even being explained or told or kept in public imagination. And then you have a president who is sincere, who is transparent, who is hiding nothing. And then the gravity of this situation came out, and he has been battling to deal with these challenges.
Governor Bagudu expressed optimism that Nigeria's democracy is greatly progressing from 1999 to date, adding that increasing confidence on the system by Nigerians is a pointer to that fact. On security matters, Governor Bagudu helped on local policing, expressing readiness to support anything that will enhance security of lives and property in the country. The Kebbi State Governor said Nigerians have every reason to celebrate the 62nd anniversary, as much have been achieved in every respect. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And that does it on this news package. But before we go, remember to connect with NTA on the campaign against rape and rapists. Shegwa Ajayi has been here with me, and I am Obegeli Goke. Thank you very much for your time.
As the campaigns gain momentum and